Welcome to the course Overview of AI in the DoD. During your AI learning journey, DAU is here for questions, feedback, or even help with an AI mission. Send an email anytime to agile@dau.edu, and our software engineering team will connect you with the right experts. Let's get started. This foundational AI acquisition course will help you manage or work on an AI program. By the end, you'll be able to explain why DoD must accelerate the adoption of data, analytics, and AI-enabled capabilities, define AI and summarize the associated policy and guidance landscape, discuss what it means to be a modern data-centric organization, describe DoD's responsible AI paradigm, and access the companion RAI toolkit. And last, identify AI and data project roles using the new DoD Cyber Workforce Framework tool. AI courses tend to be packed with info. To help with note-taking, there's a course guidebook containing all the important images from the video, and it's an AI resource you can take back to your desk. To access the guidebook, stop the video and go back to the Learning Management System. Select the hamburger menu in the upper left-hand corner and click Resources. If you aren't registered for the video course and instead are watching this as a standalone video, check the video description for links to all the course resources. Part 1 of this video explores DoD's AI imperative. What's really behind the urgency to accelerate the adoption of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence? In 2018, DoD's mission was clear: harness the power of AI for the benefit of national security, society, and American interests before our adversaries do. The initial 2018 artificial intelligence strategy predicted AI's profound impact, transforming the battlefield and enhancing all DoD functions, while also respecting human roles. The goal was to use AI to help create a modern force. Fast forward now 5 years, and we've amassed lots of AI knowledge, use cases, and applications. We're even using AI on our desks every single day. In November 2023, DoD adopted a new AI strategy, citing the formidable urgency and scale of today's strategic environment. This means the pace of innovation is even faster than it was 5 years ago. One way to demonstrate the pace of disruptive innovation is to measure the speed of end-user adoption. Take a look at this. It took 75 years to get the telephone to 100 million active users, 16 years for mobile phones. The internet got to 100 million users in 7 years. But 1 year ago, it took just 2 months for an AI system called ChatGPT to gain adoption by 100 million users. With AI fueling economies, foreign militaries, and even bad actors, DoD can't fall behind. Our next stage builds on progress while acknowledging that data analytics, and AI must be worked together at today's relevant pace while adding more focus on end-user adoption. To do that, we'll infuse more agile product development into our programs, and notably, everyone in DoD is now responsible for helping DoD realize the full promise of data and AI. DoD's first AI strategy of 2018 followed earlier bold AI strategies from both the People's Republic of China and Russia, and it was collectively known as the AI shot heard around the globe because it scared everybody. Listen to Vladimir Putin's claim about who could rule the future world.
Чтобы обеспечить масштабный рывок, в России подготовили профильную национальную стратегию. В мире идет борьба за технологическое лидерство.
Если кто-то сможет обеспечить монополию в сфере искусственного интеллекта, последствия нам всем понятны. Тот станет властелином мира.
While Russia is now occupied with the Ukraine war, China is making significant AI progress, and we've been in a US versus China AI competition ever since. Let's take a closer look. In 2017, so 1 year before our AI strategy, China announced a bold 3-stage plan to achieve global AI leadership by 2030. The goal of the initial stage was closing the AI gap with the West by 2020. They wanted to catch up with the US in AI innovations and focus on R&D, finding international investment, AI talent, and building out AI applications. The second stage, by 2025, China predicts major AI breakthroughs. They want to field even more sophisticated AI, achieve adoption of AI by their citizens, and become the first clear AI winner in 3 specific global industries: healthcare, manufacturing, and transportation. The final stage is 2030, and that's where China plans to achieve worldwide AI supremacy. At this stage, China predicts that their AI will be deeply integrated into their economy and their military and the whole of society. Here they foresee a shift toward AI excellence. They'll start regulating AI, in fact, they've started that already, to fit the needs of their style of government, and they want to be the driving force behind the international standards activities that will shape how everybody develops AI, something we need to watch out for. How is China doing on their 2030 plan? And who do you think is winning the US-China AI race? Nearly halfway through their planned timeline, the PRC has made substantial progress with AI, and by some accounts are ahead of schedule in certain areas. And the United States is neck and neck. Therefore, some argue that AI itself might be really winning the race, because these very rapid advancements are pushing all of us, virtually all governments and all of society, into uncharted territory. Watch this segment delivered by an AI-generated voice that demonstrates the speed of AI advancement in 4 charts.
AI-enabled systems increasingly shape what we see, believe, and do. Charted AI progress has been rising exponentially over the past few years, and it almost doesn't matter where you look. Here are just a few examples. Number 1. New patents granted for novel AI capabilities are massively on the rise. This is one way to measure a technology's innovation rate. Number 2. Global corporate investment in AI is markedly increased, with 2023 looking to be off the charts. 3. The language and image recognition capabilities of AI have improved remarkably since 2010, with some now starting to outperform humans on key tests. And 4. All new technologies bring both positive and negative consequences. The burgeoning indices that track AI incidents and controversies are expectedly rising right along with the advent of new AI capabilities.
That was a multifaceted glimpse of the rapid evolution of AI that's happening everywhere, including across the adversarial military landscape. To sum up the current state of global AI competition, China, the US, and other world competitors are all racing forward in AI. But there's unlikely to be a clear winner. In fact, it may be a futile question, sort of like asking, who's the clear winner in cyber war and cybersecurity? Because of AI's rapid evolution, differing objectives of the party, lack of meaningful benchmarks that we have to measure who's winning in AI, and significant ongoing global collaboration within the AI field, it's very hard to tell. The pace of AI innovation, though, isn't slowing. Global research and design on AI-related tech continues to produce innovations at a very rapid pace, and we expect this to happen at least for the next 2 to 3 years. So the United States cannot take their foot off the gas. China remains a pacing challenge. Today's AI competition is also now about who can master the race to ethical and responsible AI, or RAI, we call it in DoD. We need standards, best practices, and governance to ensure the safe and ethical use of AI technology. The goal of the United States and DoD is to strike the right balance between innovation and responsible governance to ensure the safe and ethical deployment of AI technologies. Whoever wins that race may very well win the AI race. We'll wrap up Part 1 with a few words from our Secretary of Defense speaking at a 2021 AI conference. Here is the Honorable Lloyd J. Austin III on when we need to be thinking about and including innovative technologies.
Emerging technologies must be central to our strategic development. We need to tackle our culture of risk aversion. We need to smarten up our sluggish pace of acquisition. And we need to more vigorously recruit talented people and not scare them away. And in today's world, in today's department, innovation cannot be an afterthought. It is the ball game.
Part 2 explores the multifaceted approach DoD is taking to harness the power of AI including AI definitions, the hands-on role of the CDAO, the policy and guidance landscape, and DoD as a data-centric organization. Before we get to DoD's official definitions, let's review what AI is from a high level. At its core, AI is advanced software that runs on advanced hardware and that leverages significant data. Here's how AI differs from traditional software. By advanced software, we're talking sophisticated algorithms that are cleverly designed to handle complex tasks that are usually something a human might do. Definitely something traditional software does not do. Some examples: learning, algorithms that learn or recognize objects, understand and speak languages, algorithms that act rationally or make predictions. By running on advanced hardware, we mean significantly more computing power, specialized hardware that's designed and tuned to accelerate the processing of AI's algorithms and data. It takes a lot of horsepower to run these sophisticated algorithms and to process significant data. Examples are GPUs and TPUs. And by significant data, we mean that big data is the fuel for AI. AI literally does not work without significant, high-quality data. Without a lot of high-quality data to learn from, AI fails, period. And this is why we say DoD is now a data-centric organization and why DoD merged the data strategy in with the AI strategy. To foot stomp, the quality and quantity of data profoundly impacts the effectiveness of AI applications. So to recap, at its core, AI is advanced software that runs on advanced hardware while leveraging significant data. To learn more about how AI really works, see the DAU courses What is AI and What is Machine Learning. Now on to DoD's AI definitions. Clear definitions are important for acquisition. It may surprise you to hear there is no single universally agreed upon definition of AI. AI ambiguity is a significant risk for programs, and textbook definitions like this one from Stanford are not helpful. There are 3 AI definitions in play for DoD that do a much better job of describing intelligence. The first one is from our 2018 AI strategy: the ability of machines to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. For example, recognizing patterns, learning from experience, drawing conclusions, making predictions, and taking actions. The bulleted items are functions that typically traditional software does not do. The second definition is from the FY19 NDAA. It's the most detailed and, in my opinion, the best one. This definition is also the one most often cited by new statutes and policy. I won't read the whole definition, but you can find it in your course materials and guidebook. This text goes much further in helping us to characterize human intelligence and how machine intelligence might mimic human intelligence. One example, an artificial system that performs tasks under unpredictable circumstances without significant human oversight. And the final definition of importance to DoD is from the National AI Initiative Act of 2020. As of now, none of these definitions supersede the other, and the good news is they don't contradict. Teams can pull descriptive aspects from all 3 to fit a given system. Bottom line, the government must own defining AI. Acquisition professionals should use DoD's definitions of AI. Please don't allow vendors to use the ambiguous textbook definitions that leave much too much to the imagination. The next topic is the Office of the CDAO. In the world of AI within the DoD, the center of gravity is the Chief Digital and AI Officer, or CDAO. This high-ranking official's mission is to supercharge the department's use of data, analytics, and AI. The Office of the CDAO was stood up in February 2022 by bringing together the former Joint Artificial Intelligence Center, the JAIC, the former Defense Digital Service, DDS, and the former Chief Data Officer, CDO. The CDAO is the driver behind our strategies and policies for data, analytics, AI, and RAI. They keep a close eye on our AI activities and have a team of AI experts, as well as AI education. The goal? Deliver a solid foundation to help programs develop and deploy data-driven and AI-powered solutions. So they're trying to help us get AI to the adoption stage. To get us there, CDAO has put up DoD's first unified big data platform called Advana, and a platform for learning, acquiring, and delivering AI technology called trade winds. Next up is DoD's emergent AI policy and guidance landscape. We call it emergent because the world is still creating best practice for how to buy, build, engineer, and test AI-enabled systems, so expect frequent changes. By the way, this topic's heavy on information, so rely on your course guidebook to help with note-taking, and know that you'll be able to find all of these documents simply by Googling the listed titles. The overarching policies that currently support the product acquisition lifecycle for AI fall into 6 key areas: strategy, data, software and cloud, responsible AI, autonomy, and cybersecurity. First up is strategic guidance. DoD's 2018 AI strategy flows directly from the National Defense Strategy and the Digital Modernization Strategy. Hang on, though, because our AI strategy just changed. More on that in a minute. You should also be aware of the 2022 memo called Strategic Vision for an Era of Competition. This memo contains a list of DoD's critical technology areas, or CTAs. CTAs refer to the emerging tech areas that DoD must do more with in order to maintain a competitive advantage. Currently, there are 14 CTAs, including trusted AI and autonomy, plus 5 tech areas related to AI: integrated networking, microelectronics, advanced computing and software, human-machine interfaces, and integrated sensing and cyber. Everyone in DoD should be familiar with this list because your help is needed. We need to ensure we are researching, prototyping, buying, and building modern products. Google this memo and you'll find that the DoD Research and Engineering team maintains a website dedicated to the 14 CTAs, as well as a CAC-enabled link to roadmaps detailing all of the R&E and S&T work being done in each of the 14 areas. Visit with R&E if you're starting a project in one of the critical technology areas. They may be able to help you. And certainly when it comes to AI and data and any kind of related technology, there is a wealth of information within R&E's CAC-enabled CTA roadmap for AI. On to guidance for data. The data strategy of 2020 applies to all digital data and isn't specific to AI per se, but it was created with AI in mind. Did you know there's no such thing as AI data? Data is just data, and it can be used by any software system. What you need to know is that DoD is now a data-centric organization, and that means it's everyone's responsibility to capture and store data in standardized formats so that it can be shared and used by others to create a decision advantage on the business end of DoD and for the warfighter. A secondary memo called Creating Data Advantage was issued by Deputy SecDef Kathleen Hicks, and it says data is a strategic asset that we absolutely must capitalize on in order to create advantages. So keep in mind that your program data is not your data. It's a DoD enterprise resource. It's to the point now where we are treating all data like a product. So now we're saying it's a DoD enterprise product. This is a mind shift for us in DoD. But AI is fueled by data, as you learned earlier. And data is really the only thing that makes AI and many of these modern technologies successful. In the old days, we would look at the data created by our products or programs and decide who needs to see it, consume it, etc. And it was hands off to anybody else not on the list. Today, we absolutely must assume that all of our data might be required by various analytics exercises and other programs. We really can't tell up front what will be needed. And it's no longer up to us to decide. So work with your organization's CIO and CDAO to comply. Take a look at the 5 data decrees from Dr. Hicks's memo. Number 1, maximize data sharing and rights for data. All DoD data is an enterprise resource. Number 2, publish data assets in the DoD Federated Data Catalog. Now that might sound technical, and it is a little bit technical, but check with your local CDO, Chief Data Officer, for help. Use standardized, accessible data interfaces. We've been hearing that for years. We need them to truly be standard and accessible and automated, externally accessible, and machine readable. Number 4, store data in a platform-agnostic way, uncoupled from hardware or software dependencies. And number 5, secure, authenticate, and monitor all data at rest, in transit, and in use. Next is software guidance. All of DoD's guidance on modern software and cybersecurity applies to AI as a baseline, because what did we say AI is? Advanced software. Two key policies are the 2021 Software Modernization Strategy and the DevSecOps Strategy Guide. All AI and modern software that we buy or build must align to these strategies. Please avoid buying software from vendors who do not align to the modern software practices, including Agile, cloud where possible, and an automated software development lifecycle known as DevSecOps. This image represents just two of many policy and guidance documents in play for DoD's modern software. If you need help with software, email DAU's software engineering team at agile@dau.edu. Guidance category number 4 is Responsible AI, or RAI. DoD's 5 ethical principles for AI are responsible, equitable, traceable, reliable, and governable. To a DoD engineer, these will sound like ilities, and essentially they are. But modern AI ethics address areas and concepts we've not officially done before for software and data, not just in DoD, but everywhere. We've generally not officially applied these concepts to software and IT in the past. An example within the equitable principle is bias in data. We need to find ways to ensure and assure that data is largely free of bias before we use it in AI. I told you AI eats a lot of data and quickly. If there is unintended bias or unconscious bias in data, AI will magnify it very quickly, and it can cause horribly erroneous or even catastrophic results. RAI is a holistic, responsible approach that applies to an entire AI system or project. And great news, CDAO has just released actionable RAI guidance and help in the form of an RAI toolkit. It's evolving, but we now have better ways to help our programs actually implement RAI practices. We'll look more at RAI before the end of the video. Our last category is an adjunct area of AI guidance, autonomy in weapon systems. The aging 3000.09 was replaced earlier this year. Autonomous machines are not always driven by AI software, but they typically are, so there is guidance here for the intersection of machine and software. Anybody building a weapon system in DoD today should be well aware of 3000.09, as most new systems, and even some munitions, at least have a potential for autonomy even if it's not being implemented now. So be aware of 3000.09. So what's emerging right now? Well, the 2018 AI strategy is going away, as is the 2020 data strategy. As of November 2023, there is a new, more advanced, easier to manage single document covering data, analytics, and AI all in one. It builds upon and supersedes the older strategy documents. You know, we've learned there's literally no way to have a successful AI project without having our data act together first. Therefore, we needed a unified approach across the full spectrum that aligns to a systematic, repeatable, agile approach to achieving data, analytics, and AI adoption. We also know more now about how to build and implement AI systems. Not everything, but more. So the new guidance goes further into tackling some aspects of AI adoption, such as data quality. DoD isn't changing course on the major themes in the older documents, though, and they may even still be worth reading for color, especially the data strategy. The older document is more detailed. But technically, these two documents are sunsetting. Guess what? You've reached the end of the AI policy and guidance. I hope you're still with me. Congratulations. I will end with one final note on cybersecurity, but will not go into the policies here. I'm sure you won't complain. The reason is because the topic is massive and we have other learning assets on cyber. What you need to remember is that AI is advanced software running on advanced hardware. Therefore, everything we know about acquiring software today, including everything we know about cybersecurity for software today, applies to AI as a baseline. Last note, DAU has a tool to help you stay on top of emergent AI information. It's called the DAU AI Toolkit Statute, Policy, and Guidance Tracker, SPG Tracker, and it's linked in the course resources and the standalone video description. Check back at the link frequently because we try to keep it updated as things emerge. And our final part 3 explores DoD's responsible AI paradigm, and we'll finish this course with a look at DoD's AI and data workforce competency model. Responsible AI is our ethical approach to AI. AI systems are different than traditional software because they often possess some level of autonomous decision-making, and they rely on complex algorithms, deep learning models, and vast data sets, making it challenging for we humans to understand the intricate internal processes and logic behind the AI system's output. In this example, why did this AI system think an umbrella goes through a human head? And why did this AI meal planner suggest a toxic recipe for chlorine gas? Clearly, it had knowledge of extra ingredients beyond just food. Given how quickly AI is transforming society, we need to be able to understand and trust AI systems. Therefore, a new responsible paradigm was essential for us to help ensure fairness, accountability, privacy, safety, trust, and compliance. To get there, DoD started by adopting 5 ethical principles in 2018, and these apply to all DoD AI capabilities, covering both combat and non-combat systems. You know, there's a great line in our RAI strategy, and it says, RAI is a journey to trust. Responsible AI is a journey to trust. We, along with end users, warfighters, and the American public, need to be able to reasonably trust these systems. So we'll briefly dive into the 5 ethics here and what we need to do differently as DoD people working on an AI project or program. The first one is responsible. So we have to exercise judgment and care while remaining responsible for development, deployment, and use of the system. So everyone who works on it is responsible. Number 2, equitable. We are going to take deliberate steps to minimize unintended bias in AI capabilities. That means we need to understand what is in the data, the source of the data, the provenance of the data, and what's in it. We need to test it before we use it to ensure it doesn't have bias. Number 3, traceable. Very similar to what we already do in DoD, but for AI, we need to understand the technology itself so that we can trace it. And there are times you won't understand the technology, and you're going to have a very solid risk management process around that. Reliable. Also very similar to what we do. AI capabilities will have explicit, well-defined uses, and safety, security, and effectiveness will be tested and assured across the whole life cycle. A key difference for AI is we don't want it to do things we don't want it to do. So well-defined uses means we also know what we don't want it to do, establishing those guide rails around where not to go. Earlier, when we talked about the AI recipe app that created a recipe for a toxic gas, that might be a guide rail. Tell it not to do that, right? Not to deal with certain chemicals and that kind of thing. It's not always the way that we think about our systems. And governable, of course. We need to design and engineer these capabilities, again, so they fulfill their intended functions only, and that we have the ability to detect and avoid unintended consequences. So we're testing for that. We're thinking through that in the beginning. How are we going to know if this thing goes off the rails? We need to be able to detect it, and we also need to have, at all times, the ability to disengage or deactivate a system that's acting autonomously. Now that we know the 5 AI ethical principles, how do we translate them to a program? How do you take a responsible AI approach to design, development, deployment, and use of AI-enabled systems when you work in the DoD? Great news. We have guidance and tools. Finally, we're very happy about this. CDAO has this great team working with NIST and IEEE, and they're creating an actionable process and a set of tailorable tools to help AI product teams achieve this RAI journey to trust. Now, this isn't an RAI course, but I want to provide a high-level preview of this. It's new, it's emergent. You can use it today. They put an MVP out there, a minimum viable product, and they'll be updating it frequently, but it's quite the process already. So I think it's quite usable potentially. So what is it? It's a CDAO website with, like I said, actionable guidance, process, and tools. You use it for any product involving AI and possibly data analytics. AI capabilities may consist of AI systems, models, platforms, applications, and it includes the underlying data. Is it required? No, this is still voluntary. But here's the catch. Achieving responsible AI alignment to the ethics and the best practices associated with RAI is mandatory and has been for a few years. So the high-level process goes like this. First, you sit down and read the Defense AI Guide on Risk. It's a new guide. Read through with a holistic eye toward capturing AI system risk. Just sort of take it in. It's talking about all kinds of risk, and in some cases, risk that we haven't really thought about before, potentially, because it doesn't come up in the kind of product that we have built to this point. Also consider dependent or inherited risk that could be amplified in other AI systems that you're connecting to or non-AI systems. So you're reading the risk guide, you're thinking that through. Then you're defining your AI and data project roles in alignment with your typical project roles, of course. You're defining those roles and you're assigning responsibilities. They have a RASCI chart in there and they show you roles and responsibilities typically associated with an AI and data project. So it's quite helpful. Then you go through what they call a SHIELD assessment process, and that is a series of questions that helps teams think through and quantify potential AI risks, issues, and opportunities. I think of it sort of like a cyber red team exercise, a tabletop exercise, something like that, where you're talking about different scenarios and what could happen. All of the questions, though, are traceable to stages of the AI product lifecycle and to all of the roles. So when you get done and you have this list of concerns or risks, you already know who is responsible for solving them, for researching them, whatever it is you need to do with them, because you've built a RASCI chart in alignment with data and AI responsibilities. And last, mitigate. So they give you a quite extensive list of tools, 70 plus tools, to help you mitigate and solve the AI risks that you've uncovered. And they do that in alignment with a NIST table of 7 guidelines. And we solve AI-specific situations in alignment with their 7 guidelines. A couple of examples there would be, is it fair? Is it explainable? Is it accountable and transparent? And NIST defines those for us, and we can align our AI to that. So the RAI toolkit is available at rai.tradewindai.com. That's a CDAO website. Or easier than that, just search CDAO RAI toolkit within your browser. The creators are working in an agile fashion, and they would like to hear your feedback via the email address on the screen. So step 2 above discusses AI project roles, but we haven't talked about that yet because we also have, for the last item here in part 3 of this course, we're going to walk through our new AI and data project roles. Good segue. Our final topic is the DoD AI and data workforce competency model. Where has DoD defined roles that are needed for an AI and data project? What are those new roles? The workforce elements of software engineering, artificial intelligence, and data have now been added to the DoD Cyber Workforce Framework, or DCWF, which is governed by DoD Directive 8140.01 for cyber workforce management. The goal of the DCWF is to ensure that vital skills required for building, securing, operating, defending, and protecting control systems are all embedded together in DoD's approach to human capital efforts. The framework initially had work elements related to traditional cyber jobs, but recently they've added number 6 for software engineering roles and number 7 for roles specializing in AI and data. If you're resourcing an AI project or looking to upskill yourself, start here. The DCWF tool has a wealth of information on what AI professionals do and what kind of skills they should have and what kind of courses they can take to upskill. Within the new element devoted to artificial intelligence and data, there are 5 new roles related to AI, such as AI risk and ethics specialist or machine learning specialist, and 6 roles related to data, such as data architect, data scientist, and data officer. The DCWF tool describes each role and provides substantial information on associated KSATs, knowledge, skills, abilities, and traits. KSATs are then cross-referenced with the KSATs for all other roles within the cyber framework, as well as tied to education and resources to help teams upskill, interview, or even certify in some cases. The CIO's DCWF tool URL is on the screen, or do what I do and Google DoD Cyber Workforce. I think you'll find this tool to be comprehensive and easy to use. It's very helpful for acquisition professionals who are in some way involved in resourcing AI and data projects. Congratulations! You made it to the end of this very busy video on overview of AI in the DoD. There's a lot going on. Thank you for spending time with us on your AI education journey. Stay tuned for a detailed list of the 8 key takeaways from the course. It will be on 5 screens. In the interest of your time, I don't narrate this recap, but there are 4 ways to easily capture them. 1, pause the video to grab each screenshot. 2, get them from the course guidebook. 3, pull them from the transcript. 4, registered students will find them in the learning management system, where you complete the course and take an exam. Or people who are watching this as a standalone video will find it in the video description. Thanks very much. Please come back for more AI and emerging tech education. If DAU doesn't have what you need, we'd like to know. Send an email to agile@dau.edu.